Hello and welcome to this video on the current situation of Manipur, a state in India's northeast that is facing a violent ethnic clash between the Meitei people and the tribal community. The conflict erupted on the 3rd of May 2023 and has killed at least 98 people and wounded more than 300 others. The state's government, led by the BJP, has issued shoot at sight orders and the army has increased its surveillance in the area. The situation remains volatile and tense. In this video, we will try to answer some of the questions that you may have about this crisis, such as: what is the root cause of the conflict? Who are the main actors involved? What are the consequences of the violence? What are the possible solutions to restore peace? Let's start with the first question. What is the root cause of the conflict? The conflict is mainly driven by a long-standing demand by the Meitei community, a largely Hindu ethnic group who account for about 50% of the state's population, to be recognized as a scheduled tribe under India's constitution. This would give them access to wider benefits including health, education and government jobs. It would also give them control over forest lands and natural resources. However, this demand is opposed by other tribes in Manipur, such as the Naga and Kuki, who fear that they may lose their rights and privileges over their ancestral lands and resources. They also accuse the Meiteis of being dominant and oppressive towards them. The tension between the Meiteis and the tribals has been simmering for decades, but it reached a boiling point on the 3rd of May 2023, when thousands of tribal people from the hill districts of Manipur participated in a march to protest against the Meitei demand. The march turned violent when some protesters attacked homes, vehicles, churches and temples belonging to the Meiteis. The violence then spread to other districts, triggering a cycle of retaliation and revenge. This brings us to the second question: who are the main actors involved? The main actors involved in this conflict are the Meitei community. They are the largest ethnic group in Manipur, with a population of about 1.5 million. They are mostly Hindus, but some follow other religions such as Christianity and Islam. They live mainly in the valley districts of Manipur, where they have political and economic influence. They have been demanding scheduled tribe status since 2012. The tribal community, they are a diverse group of ethnic minorities who live mainly in the hill districts of Manipur. They include the Naga, Kuki, Zomi, Ma, Pite and others. They have a population of about 1 million. They are mostly Christians, but some follow animism or other religions. They have been granted scheduled tribe status since 1956. The BJP-led government, they are the ruling party in Manipur since 2017. They have formed a coalition government with some regional parties and independent MLAs. They have been supportive of the Meitei demand for scheduled tribe status, but they have also tried to balance it with the interests of the tribals. They have been criticized for failing to prevent or contain the violence. The army, they are the security forces deployed by the central government to maintain law and order in Manipur. They have been given special powers under the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, AFSPA, which allows them to arrest, search and shoot anyone suspected of being involved in violence or insurgency. They have been accused of human rights violations by some activists and groups. The civil society groups, they are various organizations and individuals who are working for peace and harmony in Manipur. They include religious leaders, human rights activists, journalists, students, women's groups and others. They have been organizing rallies, meetings, dialogues and campaigns to appeal for calm and reconciliation among different communities. These are some of the main actors involved in this conflict, but there may be others who have a stake or influence in this situation. Now let's move on to the third question: what are the consequences of the violence? The violence has had devastating consequences for Manipur and its people. Some of them are loss of lives and injuries. According to official sources, at least 98 people have been killed and more than 300 wounded in this conflict so far. The victims include men, women and children from both communities. Many more may have died or suffered injuries that have not been reported or verified. Displacement and homelessness. According to media reports squared cubed, around 10,000 people have been displaced from their homes and villages due to the violence. They have taken shelter in relief camps, schools, churches and other places. They face shortages of food, water, medicine and other essentials. They also face the risk of disease outbreaks and trauma. Damage to property and infrastructure. According to eyewitnesses and images to the power of 4, the violence has caused extensive damage to property and infrastructure in Manipur. Many houses, shops, vehicles, churches, temples and other buildings have been burnt or vandalized. Roads, bridges, power lines and communication networks have been disrupted or destroyed. The economic and social activities have been severely affected. Breakdown of law and order. According to analysts and observers to the power of 5, the violence has exposed the breakdown of law and order in Manipur. The state's government, police and administration have been unable to prevent or control the violence. The army has been deployed to restore order, but it has also faced resistance and criticism from some sections of the society. The situation remains volatile and tense, with sporadic incidents of violence and arson. Erosion of trust and harmony. According to experts and activists to the power of 6, the violence has eroded the trust and harmony among different communities in Manipur. The Meiteis and the tribals have been living together for centuries, but they have also had a history of conflict and discrimination. The violence has deepened the divide and resentment between them. It has also created fear and insecurity among the people. These are some of the consequences of the violence, but there may be others that are not yet apparent or measurable. Finally, let's look at the fourth question. What are the possible solutions to restore peace? The possible solutions to restore peace in Manipur are not easy or simple. They require political will, dialogue, compromise and cooperation from all parties involved. Some of them are: ceasefire and dialogue. The first step to restore peace is to stop the violence and start a dialogue among different communities. The government, civil society groups and religious leaders should appeal for calm and restraint from all sides. They should also involve the central government, neighboring states and other stakeholders in the dialogue process. Confidence building measures. The second step to restore peace is to build confidence and trust among different communities. The government should provide relief and rehabilitation to the affected people. It should also ensure justice and accountability for the victims of violence. It should also take steps to protect the rights and interests of all communities. It should also promote cultural exchange and integration among different communities. Constitutional amendment. The third step to restore peace is to amend the constitution to resolve the issue of scheduled tribe status for the Meiteis. The government should consult with all communities and experts to find a mutually acceptable solution that balances the needs and aspirations of all groups. It should also seek the approval of the Parliament and the President for the constitutional amendment. It should also ensure that the amendment does not affect the existing rights and privileges of other tribes. Development and governance. The fourth step to restore peace is to improve the development and governance in Manipur. The government should invest more in infrastructure, education, health, employment and other sectors that benefit all communities. It should also improve its administration, transparency, accountability and responsiveness to the people's needs. It should also address the issues of corruption, insurgency, drugs and human trafficking that plague Manipur. These are some of the possible solutions to restore peace in Manipur, but there may be others that are more effective or feasible. This concludes our video on the current situation of Manipur. We hope you found it informative and useful. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it big like and don't forget to subscribe my channel.